Okay, today's guest is Mr. Basketball or Mr. Cavalier here in Cleveland, Austin Carr. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, thank you, Carl, for inviting me in, Shirley. Thank you.
Yeah, I know you're the one who usually gives the interviews, but now you're going to be on the
Yeah.
other end.
Yeah, it's a little different now. I'm on the other end.
Right. Well, we were so happy that you were able to join the Cleveland Pops with your narrations you did for the Lincoln Portrait, and I believe the night before Christmas also.
Night before Christmas, yes.
You, who scored 63 points in a game, you told me you were more nervous for those narrations with the orchestra than when you were on the court. Is that true?
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely, because it's a whole different venue, so it's a whole total different type of feeling. And it's funny when you as much as I talk for a living, that was just different. I mean, and it was being that close to the audience, I could see people's faces. I mean, it just was different. I was so nervous, I could feel the sweat going down my back.
God.
I haven't felt that in a long time.
Well,
but
it's like all of us. We get a little bit out of our comfort zone.
Yes,
Well,
yes, and but you gave me a good feeling of comfort, and so I really was able to get through it because you kind of kept me from really going over the deep end.
I did my best. Well, anyway, again, we're so happy to have you with us. You know, the contribution of African Americans in the field of music is just amazing, and all the great performers that I've been able to work with, and the great composers, jazz composers, rock composers, singers. But the world of sports, I mean, the contribution of African American is just you can't even imagine not having it.
Right. I mean, it's been a to me, once I started, because my father started out playing for the Homestead Grays in the Negro League. And it was like, he used to tell me stories about how they would be treated and on the road. And he really, that was his dream. But what happened was my oldest brother he had already been born. He was about 2 years old, and then I came along, and then my father said he just couldn't make enough money to support the family, so he went in, and that's when he went into working. We moved to DC, and he started working in the government. And he said that was when he, but his dream was to play professional baseball. It was right before Jackie Robinson came in, and it was a tough time, but it was really interesting to listen to some of his stories.
Great. So who have been some of the influences in your life, Austin, along the way?
Other than my father, it's funny. My father he was such a, because he didn't graduate from high school. I mean, from college. He barely got to high school because he had to work to support the family. He was always a stickler for education. So he was the one that really pushed me and my brothers, and always was somebody that we kind of, it was a funny relationship. It was kind of we looked up to him, but it was also, we were afraid of him too. but guys that I grew up with, like Elgin Baylor, watching him play, Dave Bing, guys that I grew up in the DC area watching play the game, really were guys that I tried to emulate. I mean, I really was, and I mean, I followed Dave Bing so much that I wanted to be just like Dave Bing. I mean, not just a basketball player, but he was a very successful business person. I mean, in the business world. So guys like that really gave me a vision of what I could try to accomplish. And that is really, that's very important.
Right. And Dave Bing, didn't he become the mayor of Detroit?
Yes. Right, exactly. Yeah,
that's right. I remember Kevin Johnson. Didn't he play for the Cavs, and he became the mayor of Sacramento, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes,
right?
Exactly. Right. Yes, he did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the people who you looked up to had a vision of life beyond basketball, and I guess that was so
that's
crucial.
kind of right. Exactly, and that's kind of how I envision I never really thought about playing professional ball until I was actually into my junior year in college, because my whole thing was I had to get my degree, because my father was not, he used to always tell me and my brothers, don't give those people 4 years of your life and not come away without getting a degree, because you've wasted time. And he would just drill that into us. I mean, so it just came such a point of that I never thought about professional ball until that time. And then once that happened, everything started to happen so fast, it just sort of sprung on me. And but that was it. But I had my degree, and that was the one thing he would always tell us, is that they can take your professional basketball or football life from you, but they can't take away from you what you put in your head. That's yours forever, and that can last you forever. And that's kind of how he presented things to us.
Excellent. So what is some of your work around the community here that you do outside of the work with the Cavaliers?
Well, I've done a lot, actually through the Cavs, and I kind of got into a lot of different things through the Cavs. I got into our Read to Achieve program, which was really a program that I enjoyed so much when we did it. We still do it, but not like we used to. Because I used to always, my whole thing was, and I used to tell the kids this, that even if you haven't gone somewhere, you can read about that place and put yourself there. And you can learn, you can teach yourself what you need to learn about life and about different things in life. It may take you a little longer to do it that way, but it works. And so, it really was a program that I loved. I do a lot with the food bank now, because I know how important it is now for families to be fed, and I do a lot with them, quite a bit with them. And I really started when I was in college. We had an outreach program at Notre Dame that's how I really started getting involved in it. And we would go around and have little camps for kids, basketball camps. We'd have study camps, and all that kind of got me involved in the community. I tried it, and we do a lot during the holidays with giving out turkeys. I've been doing that for a while, and it's just something that I like to do. I always believe that you have to help people. If you're fortunate enough to have good fortune, it's always good to help other people. And that, to me, is something that I've been into for a long time. And it's almost like you put good vibes out there, you get good vibes back. And and that's just me and the way I've been all my life.
That's phenomenal. So the greater part of your basketball career was here in Cleveland, but what brought you back? Because weren't you traded to Washington or something and played there for a while?
Well, actually, it's a crazy story, because I had just signed a contract with the Cavs. Basically my last contract, because my legs were going by then, too many operations. And so they put me up for the expansion draft with the Dallas Mavericks, because they figured they wouldn't take me at my age in a new contract. I was the first player they took. So then away I went to Dallas, and I played with Dallas for about 4 games. Went through training camp, played about 4 games, and then we went to play the Washington the Bullets then.
Right.
And I got traded when we left Dallas. I got to Washington, I was traded from Dallas to Washington. So I get a knock on the door, and the trainer brings me a Washington Bullets uniform and takes my Dallas uniform back to Dallas. And so I played against my teammates that night that I rode up to Washington with. I played against them that night. It was really a weird I've ever had in my life.
I hope you didn't pass to the wrong guy.
You're right. You're right.
That's really something.
That was a weird feeling.
And then how did you, it seems like all of my life that you've been the announcer for the Cavs, but I guess that wasn't necessarily the case. Just feels that
Yeah,
way.
well, I started out with Dallas. I went back to Dallas to do games with a guy named Frank Gleber, who was CBS's top guy. And I learned so much from Frank about how to do the business. Then I started working in the Big Ten. I did University of Indiana games, University of Michigan games. And then for a while, I went into private business in Indiana in the packaging business. And we packaged things like landmines and we did contract packaging for grocery stores, you know, putting coffee and creamer together, that kind of things. And then I just got tired of that because I was getting up at 4:30 in the morning on Monday and coming back 4:30 evening on Friday. And I missed my family. Was just, you know, so I stopped doing that. And then I've got a chance to do it with, somebody got sick. I forget now what happened. Somebody got sick or something happened and the Cavaliers asked me to do it. And then I've been doing it ever since. So that's basically how that all came about. And I've been enjoying it because it keeps me around something I love. It keeps me younger because the players are all younger. And it's just a good situation. And I've come to grow. I've grown really to where I appreciate the city so much and the people in the city that have really given me such great love that I really enjoy living here.
Great. You know, one of the phenomena of being a teacher is that the kids stay the same age, but you get older. So the basketball players, they're always going to be young, but you're getting older.
Right. You're right.
So
that's right. They all stay
really
young.
quite something. So who are your favorite African-American music people you like to listen to?
Well, I'm a jazz person, and I like everything. I mean, I like Herbie Hancock, Dave Koz. I mean, I like country and western. You know, Bonnie Raitt. I mean, I like all music. I mean, it all depends on what makes me feel it. I like to feel it, and you know, just like with the Pops, I enjoy that because I feel the music, and I enjoy being with people that enjoy music, you know, like yourselves and Shirley. So music is something that makes me feel good. Like when I work out now, especially because I do a lot of walking now because I've had my one knee replaced and the other one's gimping. I can't run anymore. So I do a lot of long distance walking and I always have my music with me. And it's just a medium that I love. And I don't know if I could do without it.
Great. Well, it's been my whole life, so I can definitely appreciate all kinds of music and what you've done. Well, we hope to see you at the Pops when we finally can get back to performing again. We're working hard to keep the orchestra
I can't
going.
wait.
Great.
I can't wait because I really enjoy being there with you. And I mean, it's just a great feeling being at the Pops and being there with the people. And I just enjoy it. And I can't wait we can get back together and do it again.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much, Austin. Stay well and go Cavs.
All right. Yes. Tell Shirley, take care.
Will do.